Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, I'm Double R, and we have two particular topics to discuss over here today. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. If you're on YouTube, you'll see the segmentation. If you are on BitChute, I will put the time code, which means on YouTube there'll be a time code as well, because that's how you get the segmentation. Whatever, just topics on hand. Let's go. Topic 1, this line.
Hey, bitches and bros and non-binary hoes.
Sometimes it's the translations, like when they slip in Western references for absolutely no bloody reason.
You got a stick up your ass? Or are you one of those dumbass Gamergate creep shows?
From an anime from Funimation. Funimation is translating an anime. They decide to dub it. While they're translating and dubbing it, they decide, hey, let's localize it. And they put this line. This line here. This line that went viral. Because it went viral. You know what? Y'all got my attention. Why did it go viral? Well, let me take a look. Oh, the wrong type of person on Twitter said something about translators. That's why it went viral, huh? Okay. Let's play. Imagine, if you will, someone from the LGBTQ plus community or a non-binary person saw this line first. Saw it. And then wondered why their identity is used as an adjective for hoes. Now, for those of you who are about to scream and jump and cartwheel and bullshit answer this, hold on, let me finish. Well, it's not really like you have a choice. You're just going to pause it and type out your response anyway beforehand. Then when I actually say something, anyway, point being, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because now the media, who has been obviously having a hard-on to get rid of anime.
This ban is what I believe kicked off the weird Amazon, because we're talking about the same titles, but Amazon just started delisting a bunch of these titles from their online store as well. Now you can go to Right Stuff Anime and buy them too, but there was no explanation. And because she was trying to extend Australia's law to online stores, as I understand it. So I think Amazon, either she contacted Amazon and said, well, you know, Australians can buy this too. And do you know you're selling kiddie porn? Do you know you're selling some really problematic stuff? Do you want to be responsible for that? Do you want us to sue Amazon? Do you want us to make a big deal to the media about how you're facilitating like literal abuse and exploitation of children, even though they're just freaking cartoon characters? But we saw ever since these Australians started with this campaign, you know, back in February, ever since they started with this campaign, certain titles, certain characters have been affected. We saw that for a while Hatsune Miku figures were being flagged. Are they spending all day flagging potentially problematic material on Amazon in an attempt to get Amazon to pull all of it down? I mean, Sword Art Online, really? That's what you're going to have a problem with? That's what you're going to have a problem with.
Has extra ammo. Right now, they're going to use it to their advantage. They're going to say, yes, representation is good. Look what anime is doing. Until they decide to turn back against anime. And when that happens, it will be this very line that they use. Look at the insensitivity of anime. Just throwing out people's identities just because they can. How do we know this is going to happen? Let me walk y'all through it. How do we know? Picture a person you don't like. Maybe you don't like Biden. Maybe you don't like Trump. Picture one of them, if you will. Someone you loathe. Someone you feel that should never be in office. Biden, Trump, I don't care which. Now, imagine, if you will, that person walks out on stage in big old fanfare and opens with that line. I know some of you are thinking, well, there's context. Yes, and as we saw with many situations, especially when media went against anime, context doesn't fucking matter to them at all. They just need the line. They don't go the next line over, as we saw with Trump and the infamous, there are good people on both sides.
And that's when we heard the words of the President of the United States that stunned the world and shocked the conscience of this nation. he said there were, quote, some very fine people on both sides. Very fine people on both sides?
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Wait, Robert E. Lee are not the same.
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now, we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history. You're changing culture. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats. You had a lot of bad people in the other group too.
Yeah. Notice how they took out the context and removed the second part of that sentence? So those of you who are saying the same damn thing, oh, you forgot to add the second part of that sentence. Doesn't matter. Media did it with Trump. Media would do it with this. Same thing. Same thing with Biden. If Biden says something they don't like, they're going to chop it up and do the exact same thing. That's what the media does. If they want to turn on anime, that's what they'll do. They will use this very sentence against it. And the reason why I bring it up this way is because a lot of y'all want to argue just to argue. It's the wrong person who brought it up. Yeah, wait until the media starts going back after anime and uses this very line. Then y'all going to be like, why are they saying that? It's representation. No, they're saying that because tee-hee-hee, they remove context. It's what they do. So when you're arguing and someone's removing context, guess what? You're literally practicing a fight against the media. They're going to do the exact same thing. And guess what? The media ain't going to care about a bunch of people on Twitter. They just want to care what you generally think long enough until they can change your mind. Don't believe me? Picture your hated person saying that line as an opener. Think it back to me. Now, topic 2. The live action Powerpuff Girl reboot. Oh, I feel the CW must have watched my video on this the first time I went over it. They must have. Because, one, they made certain to avoid making the black girl Blossom. They made sure to swerve that. It ain't because Blossom's redhead. No, it's they saw it on my video and went, crap. Got called out. They also made sure not to have him, the most logical antagonist, to dissuade the girls from being heroes. The most logical antagonist, of course, would be him. They decided, no, Mojo Jojo had a son, so Mojo Jojo Jr. And he has a fixation on the girls. So that's the story you're going with, huh? Okie dokie. Kind of weird. It's like Scott Evil having a hard-on for, Austin.
Scott!
Hello, Scott. Hi. I'm your father, Dr. Evil.
I haven't seen you my whole life, and now you come back and just expect a relationship? I hate you.
What? Could I have a hug?
No.
Give me a hug.
No way.
Come here.
I'm not coming over there.
Let's go.
Forget it.
Pronto.
What are you doing?
I'm with it. I'm hip. Well, don't look at me like I'm frickin' Frankenstein. Give your father a hug.
Hey,
hug,
don't touch
hug.
me.
Hug. Hug.
Get away from me, you lazy-eyed psycho.
You can spend your whole life trying to win your parents' acceptance, believe me. But at the end of the day, you've just got to do it for yourself, baby. What is that we're gonna do, man? Hey, Austin, shh! What? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you, but I hate you too. And I especially hate you. You'll pay. You'll all pay! I'm gonna get you, Austin Powers!
Yeah, enemy of my father, but let me just go ahead and... the writers... you know, this kind of tells me that CW did get a vision of my video. And I bring this up because I stated Dr. Utonium, and they go and get a guy who played a freaking doctor. It's Professor Utonium. I'm amazed they didn't go get Bill Nye. Anyway, the reason why I state they must have seen my video is because, one, besides casting a guy that played a doctor, two, besides changing the villain to someone like Scott Evil, you know, Mojo Jojo Jr. is pretty much Scott Evil. Let's just call it for what it is. Three, having an issue with the black actress because they couldn't put her as Blossom, so they had to change her idea, which meant either Bubbles or Buttercup, and they didn't really want to put her with Bubbles because that would seem like too hard of a switch, which meant it only left Buttercup, which is its own problem because you have a dark-skinned girl playing Buttercup, who's the most violent of the Powerpuff Girls.
What's going on here? What? Huh? Oh, what, you going for something? You going for that? No. You want some more, man? You do? No. Yeah?
No. Are you saying something about stereotypes here? Guys, this is why people were saying it's a bad idea to make this in the first place, because you kind of swerve into it. It's like my complaints about Doctor Who. I had an issue with that too. You kind of walk yourself into it. You know what? No matter. That's not the point of this video. It's not. Surprisingly enough, it's not. The point is the sneak peek. This thing here. Now, they came out with a picture recently. This. Okay. That, yeah, the colors are a bit of an eyesore, but you know what? It fits the characters in general. Fine. Different fashion? Okay, fine. So why this with a sneak peek? Why this? Simple. As a writer, I know why they're doing it. It's a pretty basic thing. It's to connect the actress with the character within the minds of the audience. That's all they're trying to do. I get that, but there's other ways to do that. One, because the girls would be growing up apparently, as you see, that would mean they would have a different type of fashion in general. Most likely, Buttercup would not want to wear any type of skirt or dress into combat. That's a no-no. That's a big what the hell. She's the aggressive one. She's the one that knows combat more. She likes combat. She likes fighting. She's the brawler. She's not going to wear that if she doesn't really have to. It works great as a little kindergartner. It works great. Doesn't work so well at that age. I mean, if you want an example of what I mean by this, this!
MC Mikey. MC
Anyone who knows Ninja Turtles could tell you who's who just by looking at it. And that is a difference of fashion. I mean, they started off like that. So, that said, however, the whole point is there is a different way to do this. A simple way would have been one of the girls opening up the closet, and either a small version of that outfit or the large version of that outfit was seen in frame, but not dead center, just in frame. It shows, yes, they still use it, they still wear it, it's right there. And you wouldn't have to put them in it if they didn't want to go in it. Just put that out there. Now, in terms of the scene itself, I can kind of figure out why they did it. Because you see, in terms of the scene itself, this is probably their last time of being quote-unquote heroic before they came to the realization that they're quote-unquote wasting their lives being heroes. They lost their childhood because they're being heroes. Things like that. This is probably the last event where that idea popped up. Okay? That's probably what happened here. That last event before that idea popped up, that's why this is a thing. That's also why they had to make sure that you saw them in the traditional outfits. So you have time to associate. Actress is wearing this color, which means this color went to this character, ergo this actress is representing Blossom. Same thing down the line for Bubbles. Same thing down the line for Buttercup. That's what they're trying to do, most likely. I state that as a writer, so there we go. Now the reason why I brought up that current picture that they decided to show is because it does show that the girls did change their fashion a bit. Good, that makes sense. My only question is, how long were they wearing their traditional dresses if they had to wait for the event to change their outfit? Again, most girls, as they grow up, would have their own sense of fashion and they would change their look. Let me give you another example real quick and then we'll end it, okay? Some of y'all who saw my original video noticed I used something from Snafu Comics, an artist known as Bleedman. You notice something. You can still tell which Powerpuff Girl is which, even though Buttercup she's not wearing green, is she? But you can tell it's Buttercup. You know it's her. I state this because the character can still be portrayed through their personality, through their outfit and their wardrobe. Again, refer back to the Ninja Turtle thing where people can tell you exactly who's who, if they know who the Ninja Turtles are.
The last vial of ooze! He must have drank all of it! It's a super shredder! So don't forget, we're turtles!
MC Mikey. MC
So, with that said, I leave you to it. Y'all have a good time. And I'm not going to go over that whole argument about Buttercup being coded as Asian instead of black or whatever. Y'all go ahead and argue that all y'all want. I don't want to touch it. I mean, I get it. Bleedman saw Buttercup as Asian as well because, well, this. But we're just going to leave it where it is. I'm not agreeing with any side. I'm just saying Bleedman agreed with the whole Asian thing because of the whole trying to make it into anime. Whatever. Y'all have fun. Have a good time. I'm Double R. I'm out. And remember these things. It helps in the long run. Later.